Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Stearns Financial Client Appreciation Dinner. This is certainly not what any of us expected last year when we had our event, but we're doing our very best to stay connected and to bring some happiness and cheer to your worlds tonight. And we were very, very, very fortunate that Giorgios Bakatsias, who happens to be a friend and the owner of 11 restaurants in the area, and many of which I frequent often, agreed to donate his time and his energy to doing a special show for us and our clients. So we're looking forward to talking to George, interviewing him a little bit, learning more about him, and having him cook his famous lamb shank with chickpeas for us. And also with us, we're going to have, hi, Dennis. You popped in all of a sudden. I don't know if Dennis can hear or if he can, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Hello,
Great.
welcome.
Having some technical difficulties.
So I was just saying that none of us last year expected that we would be doing a virtual client appreciation dinner this year, but we were so fortunate that George agreed to do a cooking show for us. And both Dennis and I wanted to pop in and say hello to everybody. We wish we could see you in person, but at least this event has given me the opportunity to have my hair down and not in a ponytail. I have on a silk blouse instead of my normal t-shirt. Dennis, you look nice too.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I think you're the master of ceremonies, Holly, and we are really looking forward to this evening. Welcome one and all. And so, Holly, who needs no introduction, I'll give just a brief introduction. We don't have the Rockettes tonight for the holiday season, but we have a true rock star. She
Oh.
is she is a international best-selling author on Amazon now, and the Italians call her Patrici Divertimento,
They
which
do?
means which means the fun artist.
Aw.
And she is an artist in all senses, an accomplished artist, as many of you know, actually painting, but an artist in many other ways of what she does. So I will turn it over to Holly as Master of Ceremonies.
Well, thank you, Dennis. Thanks for popping in on us.
You bet.
So just wanted to say that during this season, we, clients of Stearns, employees of Stearns, are especially grateful. As inconvenient as masking is, and as inconvenient as not being able to go to our favorite holiday party is, we have it really good. Our employees are able to work remotely. We're all getting paid. Um, our clients obviously are in good financial situations, but there are many, many, many people out there that are suffering right now. Many people who are unemployed, many children who aren't in school. They're not getting their one meal of the day that they were used to getting. And for that reason, we at Stearns, on behalf and in honor of our clients, have decided to donate $5,000 to the East Durham Children's Initiative. And I'm hoping that David Reese, there he is, David. Hi there, how are you?
I'm good.
David Reese, who is the CEO and the president of East Durham Children's Initiative. David, tell our viewers what East Durham Children's Initiative is and what you do, please.
Sure. Holly, thanks so much for having us here. Dennis, it's great to be here this evening. Thank you. For those of you that don't know, the Durham Children's Initiative is a cradle to college model here in Durham. The goal really is to work with young people from the time they're born, creating supportive systems with them, for them through college. When you really begin thinking about it, we had a baby born this morning. And in May, we just graduated our first cohort of young people from college. And so this has worked out phenomenally. I wanted to just take a moment and just sort of share, how COVID has affected us in our work. We work with about 40 different partners, bringing all of these partners together and creating what we like to think of as a pipeline of services for young people. The visual in your minds really should be the yellow brick road, right? Starts at birth, ends at college. COVID threw everyone for a loop. COVID happened and we asked our families, well, what do you need and how can we best serve you? And what they said was, week one, we thought we were okay. By week two, we had begun to run through our savings. By week three, we just needed help with emergency food. And so we created the infrastructure with some partners to create a contactless food distribution system. Over 300 families come through every week, really being able to address basic needs. In my wildest dreams, Haley, I thought we would do this maybe for 3 weeks, a month. Here we are 9-10 months later, and we still do it every week. I'm touched every opportunity that I have to just spend some time, doing the simple things, putting a box of food back into a family's trunk. And so I want to thank you all for you all thinking enough about those folks who are less fortunate, who are just really struggling through this time. And really being, I think, the folks who bring cheer to their lives today.
But David, I have a surprise for you. And I just found this out myself, but George was planning to cook for us tonight from his kitchen in Bahama. And it turns out that he had a conflict in his kitchen in Bahama. So he's at a restaurant cooking for us, but he is offering a dinner for 8 at his home in Bahama that he will prepare with wine pairings. And he is going to, for a minimum of $5,000, auction that off for our clients. So we have to figure out how that part's going to work. But 100% of the proceeds, whatever that yields, is going also to EDCI. So it's a $10,000 gift at a minimum. And we're so grateful to be able to do this for the kids of Durham that need food. Yay.
Wow. Tonight got even better.
Yes.
You have to tell George I said thank you very much. I actually think that's what makes our community just like the best community out there, because we come together as a community and we solve problems and we address needs. Wow, this is pretty fantastic. This is absolutely phenomenal. Talk about happy holidays.
Yeah, so I first have heard of the East Durham Children's Initiative because from what I understand, it's modeled after the Harlem Children's Zone. So tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's sort of, you take kids from the inner city and an entire community works with these kids in various ways. It's not just school, right? I mean,
you're right on.
It's kind of a 360 kind of program, right?
It's very holistic. When you're absolutely right. When you think about it, it's there's the slide deck. There it is. It's a comprehensive way of creating supports for young people, and we actually take programs, interventions, line them one behind the other, move young people along this continuum, understanding that sometimes children will fall. If they fall, they should fall with a parachute and land softly. And that's our job, to make sure when they do fall, we're there to actually pick them back up, get them back on track. Go to the next slide for me, Bill. See if I can share some there. There we go. It's place-based back in Durham. It's longitudinal. So the goal is really to think about young people from birth through college, figure out what works and what doesn't work. If it works, let's keep doing it. If it doesn't work, then don't spend any time with it. Data-driven. So there's folks over at Duke, which are telling us what works and what doesn't work there. I want to come talk about that, the collective hybrid, the hybrid collective impact model. This is really, where we get excited. We bring together over 40 different partners to create this pipeline of services. And this is every major entity back in Durham County. That's what makes up what we like to think of as this ecosystem. It's an ecosystem that, allows young people back in Durham to have success. We reached an important milestone last year. We engaged more than 2,000 young people in the course of our work since 2011. There's the slide right there. The biggest takeaway when you start thinking about this is it works. 96% of young people meeting their developmental milestones. We have a preschool half day. 93% of those young people are kindergarten ready. And I think the biggest takeaway is the longer young people are involved, and this is what makes Durham and, our world just amazing. The longer they're involved, the better their literacy scores and the better their attendance. And this is exactly what we want for young people back in our community, is to be able to have this opportunity for success, to be able to play this role, in supporting them. And that's what makes, now the gift, and then the surprise gift, even better.
Well, we're honored to partner with you, and we look forward to an ongoing relationship and learning more about the outcomes that you're producing. I think you really are changing statistics, David. So kudos to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy holidays.
You too. You too. All righty. Going on to the main event. We've got Giorgios Bakatsias here with us, and I would like for George to join the screen. Guys, by the way, forgive us. We're doing our very best with technology, but this is our first ever virtual event. So, hi, George. How are you?
Welcome. I'm doing great, Holly, and thank you. Thank you for the invite and joyful wishes to each and everyone around this community and around the world, and a healthy, balanced cosmos to evolve to the highest level we can through all this unexpected pandemic.
Well, we are so grateful for your time and generosity. I know it hasn't been an easy time for restaurants in particular. And so the fact that you're giving of your time and your chest to help others in the community just speaks volumes about you. I want to take a minute to you're such an enigmatic character, George. I want to take a minute to help our audience get to know you a bit better. I think you and I met in 2002 because I'm a frequent visitor to Parizade, and so the Parizade team has become really almost like family for me and many of my friends and relatives. So I'm really so pleased to know you, but I want everyone else to get to know you. So tell us a little bit about, you've been called a legend, a visionary. I think you have 11 restaurants, Chapel Hill, Durham, Raleigh. Tell us a bit about your background. You grew up in Greece, if I'm not mistaken. So how did you end up going from Greece to Durham, and how did you end up deciding to cook?
Thank you, Holly. Thank you. And David, thanks for the work you're doing. Growing up in Greece, in a small village of Greece, it's the safety net there was nature. And of course, I had incredible parents, and my mother. And of course, my father's dream was to come to America under tough situations, much more difficult than I ever experienced in life. So he finally came to America, and it took 20 years to unite the family. But while we're growing in Greece, my mother, extremely heroic, my sister and my brothers, Theodore, Yanni, Olga, they're all one by one eventually came to America, and I was the last one with my mother. So the gift of life and the love that I received, and the purity of nature to allow me to grow with understanding the soil, understanding what it takes to make olive oil or make wine or make grow food, allow me to fall in love with the ingredients of cooking, or transform some kind of form of love through cooking, because I think my mother gave me that gift. So it's not been through school. So anything to do with children, and I take my hat off to David, because I think anything we can do with education and children, I'm up for it, and I'm grateful that I have the opportunity, because this community has given me a lot. So Holly, we opened Parizade, I guess, 30 years ago. So I did that when I was about 3 years old. I'm just kidding. So we all shared so many experiences there, and the guests and the community has been beyond loving, welcoming, and I came to Durham first in 79, 78, because I opened my first restaurant when I was 20. Um, the community winked at me in a way that said, I'm going to find this place, I'm gonna create, and I'm going to be in a joyful state of existence here and call it home. And then, of course, the ability to travel around the world and through cooking, have relationships around the world. But Durham has been a great, and the whole community, the whole surrounding area has been a great gift for me. And I'm loving to be here, and especially this time. It's it's a great fun that we can share some recipes here at Kipos, and I hope um, uh, the the fund for the dinner is going to be worth more than 5,000. So whoever's wants a dinner experience, and we can have it whenever. It's not a timeline, so we can have it when people feel comfortable. We have an outdoor kitchen at my house. I live in a tree house, so I can have indoor kitchen, outdoor kitchen. So I want to make sure that this experience, because all the money is for the children. So let's have some fun and stay healthy. So tonight we're gonna cook a dish, very simple. But Holly, is that did I answer your questions yet, or am I jumping ahead of the game?
You did great, and thank you for that. We share the immigrant experience together, and I know for me, and I think you'd feel the same way. It's been an enriching experience, the ability to view the world from different vantage points, and Durham has been really good to me too. So I love living here, and though I must say you were a little older than me when you came, so it must have been a rude awakening to go from the olive trees in Greece to to Durham.
And flying and driving and going in a car for the first time, because I'm used to donkeys and horses and transporting, and so it was a beautiful experience altogether. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll totally agree.
Before you get started with your recipe, I want to tell our viewers that you are going to get the ingredients and the preparation for this recipe following the show. So you can just relax and just watch and let George entertain you. You don't need to take notes. Just enjoy the experience, and it's forthcoming. Okay, recipe is forthcoming.
And that's the best recommend advice. Thank you, Holly, because I think in cooking there is a certain center of your core, just like anything else in life. You want to be confident with what you're doing, so it's not it's no mistakes. The worst mistake is we can burn something and start over again. So I think cooking is experimenting to a certain degree, but also before I start, and this is the philosopher in me. The one thing I learned through cooking and through great individuals through kitchens around the world is that uh, in search of certainty, I mean, if we have a certain ability to be focused on certainty, but in that search for certainty, it prevents your ability to explore other infinite possibilities. So in the kitchen, sometimes if you don't have one ingredient, don't panic. Use another ingredient. Like tonight, we have some incredible ingredients, and some I just grabbed from the garden today because they happen to be alive and said, "Use me. I'm here. I'm vibrant. I'm heirloom carrot, or this fantastic greens that are beautiful and alive." So in the kitchen, be flexible. Allow yourself to work with the moment. So, shall we start?
Like any kind of artwork, you have to just go with it, right? Create.
We can't control everything. There's some things that we have to let go. You're right.
So tell us about this recipe for tonight. Is this something that you learned when you were in Greece, or
Well, in the village, but anywhere, and I think even today, when individuals find a way to share more love at the house, be more at the house, cook more at the house, even spend more time creating a garden. I think one pot or one casserole dishes are very important, because I think the harmony of ingredients that come together um, are beautiful, because they cook slow, and of course being this time of year, it's colder in the winter. And one thing that my mother did, because she worked in fields all day long, because when you live off the land, it's romantic, but it's around the clock work. Um, and so she did this amazing dishes that she cooked on their wood fire, and slowly they cooked all day long. And we went home we had it. Whether, of course, we ate meat maybe once or twice a month, and the rest of the time is a lot of vegetables because you only slaughter a certain amount of time. There's no grocery shopping, so so that ability to cook a dish that comes together in harmony and flavor and soulful experience that nourishes you. Because food, remember, more than ever right now, we realize that how we nourish ourselves, how we build our immune system through food, it's crucial because food is medicine and medicine is food. So I think we should, and I think there's a great movement back to that because this area, this community is really into the local gardens, the ingredients, and I feel restaurants are supporting that as well. So I think slowly we're evolving to becoming what the village was for me, and of course. Whether it's Parizade, Jason and Igor, they're doing a great job. Of course, here at Kipo's, my sister Olga is doing the cooking, so she's a master of what she does. The lamb dish is basically something that you slow cook with. It could be with chickpeas, but it could be with potatoes, could be with orzo, so and lots of vegetables. So I think that's important. You cook it slowly. We'll show them how to cook it. We'll show everyone how to cook it. But also, you can use chicken with the same technique. You don't have to be lamb. So, and in Morocco, which I go a lot, sometimes they do vegetable, all kinds of tagine. So that has a little influence of that. So the
So
secret.
let me, I think before you start, I'm just going to sign off from the screen so that we can get you on a big screen so everyone can actually see what you're doing. Okay, so I'll be back, but
Remember, una faccia, una razza. That's what they say about the Greek and Italians.
okay. Enjoy, everyone.
Bye. Great wishes. All right. You're doing a great job. Thank you. Beautiful work. Welcome everyone. Let's figure out what the mystery ingredient is. Right here, the lamb shanks. It's one of the toughest parts of meat, but through slow cooking, we're able to create. After 2-3 hours of slow cooking, you're gonna have this succulent, tender, and very flavorful dish. Let's talk about the ingredients for a moment, and then we'll begin the technique, the process. We have coriander, fennel, and cumin. Those seeds, I put them in the oven and I grind them afterwards. But I wanted to put them in the oven as seeds so they get all the aroma, the flavors, and everything starts breathing. Beautiful aroma. So remember, either black peppercorns, you roast them in the oven slowly and then grind it. It's even the aroma is much more potent. So we have the paprika. We have the everything we're gonna add in a bowl. All the mise en place, all the ingredients, rose, paprika, all the spice. So we'll put this aside. We're gonna use it later, but you get your herbs and spices ready. I spend a lot of time in spice markets around the world, especially Morocco, and it's incredible the mastery they have with their spices. So we'll put it aside because we're going to use it in a moment. Now we're going to start with the main ingredient, which is a lamb shank, and we're going to start seasoning it generous. The salt, pepper. More pepper. You want to get a good coating of seasoning. And then at the same time, we're gonna get the oven ready, a nice hot pan. We want to braise them for about 8 or 9 minutes. We want to braise them so they get a nice sear on the outside. We have a nice skillet. It could be a pan, but it should be. It's best when it's thick on the bottom.
So George, this is always the scary part for everyone. How do you do this? You've got hot oil in your pan, right?
You have a good question. You have the pan is heating up, and now I'm gonna add a beautiful olive oil that we both love. Um,
All right. So generous amount of olive oil.
and go slowly. We're gonna let it sear. It needs to be a little hotter. It's getting that the bottom of the pot is very thick, and we're gonna allow it to sear quite a bit. I think seasoning is very important. Then after that, we have onions, carrots, celery, the chickpeas, tomato sauce, tomato paste. Um, I have some beautiful heirloom tomatoes and carrots in the garden, and beautiful mustard greens um, that I grabbed them this morning from the garden. They were beautiful. I mean, and I have a little spice, beautiful spice, extra spice actually. So I'm going to incorporate. They're not in the recipe, but I'm going to use it because I think that adds a lovely dish.
So George, is this your own personal garden that you have?
Yes, I have a lot of gardens at the and I have about 5 gardens and 70 chicken. I have a lot of land, so I'll make sure when who buys the dinner at the house, they're gonna get a chance to get their own eggs at the same time.
Well, I have a lot of people in the chat box asking if they can bid on the dinner. And so let me just say to all of you that this was a complete surprise, and we've got to figure out, Bill, who is our IT person, is going to figure out how we can do a bidding, but it's not going to happen tonight.
Yeah, get some good competition going. That's good. Okay, it's gonna take a little time to sear. At the same time, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare the greens. Um, they're washed. When you're doing greens, make sure you wash them extra when you put them in the water. Put them out from the water because when you're having a garden, you have a lot more dirt. So one time I was working with a master chef from Waldo Astoria years ago when I had my first restaurant in Durham, and I prepared the salad, and I put all the greens in the sink with the cold water, ice cold water, and then I let the water out. So of course the sand and the lettuce went back on the lettuce. So after he came by and checked the lettuce, he says we ate all this sand, and he says how we're gonna do business like that. So I never forgot that. After that, I was washing lettuce from picking it up from the water every time, multiple times. So I'm always gonna have clean lettuce.
It looks beautiful, so fresh.
This one, it's a nice and spicy. You'll love the spice. I love the spice. Now,
I also love that big knife you were using. We all, those of us that cook need those good kinds of utensils.
yes, you don't need a lot. I can't wait to see what you're dreaming of your kitchen. So you have to come over to my house so we can look at the dinner setup.
Yeah, I was telling George that I want to remodel my kitchen, and he was saying that he had built this beautiful kitchen for himself. So maybe if I'm lucky, I can get a personal consultation.
Got it. One thing about braising dishes or slow cooked dishes is better when it's with a bone in. Whether it's chicken or lamb or you do some kind of game or I think for me it's always better when you're having that ability to go to your butcher, local butcher, and say what's available for braising and so on and so forth. So that's always the best. And of course, you have beautiful grocery stores around here as well. Um, we're going to allow the carrots and the potatoes and chickpeas. It's going to be a complete dinner. You can see that one pot dish has all your vegetables. It has beautiful aromatics, so the spices. In my house, of course, I grow a lot of rosemary. Um, so that's a very important piece. All the spices and herbs I grow, I roughly throw some spices and herbs. I have a lot of bay leaf, a lot of bay leaf, a lot of bay leaf. That's beautiful. The fresh bay leaf I have a lot. In North Carolina, you have a lot of bay leaf, so you should grow your own bay leaf. And as well as star anise, they grow very easily here. So I add that. It needs to go a little longer. This is where your Zen state, you become a little meditative, no rush. And lamb is a good meat to eat. I like it. Also, the house will cook a lot of lamb on the wood fire on the spit in the summertime.
But you did say, George, you can use the same technique for beef or chicken or anything else, right?
Yeah, good point. The chicken as well as braised short ribs, bone-in short ribs will be the same way, the same technique. You have the beautiful mise en place of all your vegetables and starches and potatoes or whatever you choose, whatever you have in your garden or your cooler. And then, but the braising technique, you can do it different. I love chicken as well, like this, where even the whole bird, they chop it up.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it always seems like the whole bird chopped up tastes better than buying chopped up bird for some reason.
Yeah, I feel. Of course, I have savory chicken, so I'm not chopping up any birds. But my sister once in a while says, "Don't you have any birds out there that we can make a chicken soup?" Because she makes the perfect agua lemon, which is chicken lemon broth, and it's kind of medicine for the winter. She always calls me up for, "Can you bring me a chicken?" I said, "No, we can't do that." She thinks we're back in the village sometimes, which is good. So we have.
I wish we could get a shot of what's in that pan. Is there any way to see what's
Yeah,
inside the?
basically we're getting a good sear. I'm gonna do that right now. We're getting a good sear. I'm gonna help you out with that.
Oh, it's beautiful. And so you haven't put any spices on this, right? It's just the olive oil right now.
Just salt, pepper. Um, I like throwing in some fresh herbs like rosemary and bay leaf in there because they're aromas, but not. I mean, you can adjust a little bit. You don't have to. I mean, you can make your recipe yours as long as I think you braise the meat very nicely. You let it cook very slow, and you incorporate a melange of vegetables and spices. But there's some balance. I think food is about balance because if you get unbalanced, it's just like humans. The flavor is not harmonious. So I think it's the body also recognizes pure ingredients sometimes are pure, and a lot of times I may cook a dish with one or two, three ingredients at the most. This is a little more complex, but it's fun. It's winter time. I think it's a good thing. So now, once we sear that, I'm gonna take most of the grease or the remaining liquid in the bottom of the pan and pour it out. I'm gonna leave a little bit in order to cook the vegetables. The key thing is to make sure you get a good sear all the way around. So it's gonna take 10, 12 minutes. So but that's very important to get a good sear.
I can almost smell it through the screen.
So that's one thing about being in our beautiful environments, wherever you're at. You allow your imagination to flow. So you have to close your eyes, and you're exactly right. I was going to go say that. So thank you for telling me. I I think we have a greater instinct. So now's the time to start using them, and even taste the flavors even farther away from here. I like that one, Holly. Okay, what we're gonna do? I'm gonna take the lamb shakes and take them out of the pot for a moment. And then we're gonna use take some of this fat out. Okay. That on the side. And now we're gonna add the onions, chopped onions. We have garlic, and the garlic, cut it thin slices. Doesn't have to be very fine chopped. You want to have some body, so they don't burn so fast. Add just a touch of olive oil. Okay, we have the garlic. The olive oil comes from California, so it's in Greece. The beautiful olive oil from the single region. Carrots, a lot of the ingredients that you do when you're cooking, celery. And you want the ingredients to be translucent, not golden, but not very, not to the stage of being overdone. My first chef was always giving me lessons on how to take onion to what different degrees to extract the flavor you wanted. Is it nutty? Is it translucent, transparent? Is it so? Onion is so important in so many cultures. I learned more olive oil. Now we have the spice here that we created.
So I think that's what, cumin, fennel, coriander, paprika. Is that right? Allspice, pepper, cinnamon.
And yes, and they all blend together, um, and beautiful aroma. The camera is even excited.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I love the color.
And now you got to be able to know at your house. You can the aroma of onion, garlic, celery, carrots all coming through to you. Okay, wow, the beautiful knowledge of vegetables that we have coming up.
Wow, beautiful.
It's colorful. It's one thing about food that's magical with color and vibrant flavors. Lovely. At this point, there's two different techniques and tomato paste. Also have some tomato and salt. Um, I want to get the tomato paste in here a little bit. Some people deglaze this before they put the lamb shanks, and the recipe has that. But also, you put the lamb shanks in there and then deglaze. I like it a bit more because they all dance, let's say, together in the pan. They absorb even a more aromatic and flavor that way. So let's do it that way. Let's at this time we're gonna let the lamb drink a little red wine. Put everything back. Kind of stir everything up a little bit more. The lamb, the vegetables, all that. We have some good wine right here.
So George, we have a guest who is a vegetarian, and we're wondering if you can make this dish with tofu or some kind of vegetarian
Tofu. Love it.
tofu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great because you have these carrots, these greens, the chickpeas, the potatoes. Um, it's a fantastic dish vegetarian because we grew up eating a lot of vegetables vegetarian, so that you're not suffering. Like tonight we're cooking. You got these beans, the big beans, and you braise them like meat, and you have an incredible dinner. So, like we said in the beginning, allow the possibilities to be infinite. Don't restrict yourself when you're eating. Just making sure that the soil and the gardener and the garden itself is nourished and is loved more than ever. Because I think that's where it all begins. I think we as cooks or chefs are basically honoring the ingredient. So I think that's very important. Like we're honoring nature with what it does for us, and we're gifted from there. All right. Wow. So everything. Okay. So now you can see everything is put together nicely. Um, we're gonna add this beautiful gift, holiday gift, rosemary, bay leaf, all kinds of herbs, like a little package for aroma. I'm gonna put 4 teaspoons of spices. Clove, that's good. I think it's time to be glazed with some wine. Beautiful. All right.
So George, one of our viewers is asking, what kind of pans do you use? Are these aluminum? Oh, that's beautiful.
You're getting everything coming
Gorgeous.
together, and all the perfume and the aromas and the spices are starting to come together, just like Dave was talking about earlier about the community coming together to help one another. I think food has and the spices and ingredients must uh, come into one dance of a love affair. Um, uh, Depends. Um, I like we have some all clad that's very good for a house. This tomato sauce. We have the stock. Okay, at this point, we have a little tasting spoon.
So that was chicken stock, right?
That is chicken stock. But
Mm.
something else. I think a little more. I had a little bay leaf. I like the fresh bay leaf is amazing. Um, so that's there. The chicken stock, thank you. And then we have the chickpeas. And chickpeas, you can do them, soak them overnight and then cook them for 30 minutes or so al dente. Of course, if you want to take a shortcut, you can. I think you can find them, and you can always use dry. And I cook a lot of beans. I love beans. So a lot of chickpeas are beautiful in this dish, but you can use other and potatoes.
George, I've had your chickpea hummus at Parizade, and it's to die for with the slices of garlic.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. And I think at this point, I'm adding a pinch of just a pinch of salt, a little more pepper, At the house, I had enormous amount of lemon thyme and thyme. Usually I add that. Um, Now at this level, this is an added ingredient um, because it was in the garden. It was begging me, so I said, why not? And this heirloom carrots. I have lots of cabbage right now, a lot of greens, a lot of it's a lot of the garden has been very healthy. I had an enormous amount of eggplant and peppers this year. I want to cut them in half, but leave them kind of big. Um, open. Let it let it let it all be very rustic. It's a very rustic dish, so I think you should honor that. The greens I'm gonna add in a little later. I think it's too early for the greens. Also, we have a pomegranate, which I love pomegranates. I grew up with pomegranates. My mother knew I was in a pomegranate tree when I came back, and my shirt was all a beautiful color, designer color. Um, then I got the trick. I took my shirt off. Then we had an amazing blast with pomegranates. What I do with pomegranate, I'll add it at the end. I'll add some lemon and orange zest at the time. So we have a beautiful dish that's wow. We're gonna cover it up and put it in the.
Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. I love that you left the stems of those carrots in place.
Well, sometimes we forget where is the potent, the added value for nourishment, and that's definitely one big part. So, uh, one thing in the village you learn is you use every aspect. There's zero room for waste. So everything has a purpose. When my mother were having watermelon, she would take the peel and make a spoon dessert like with a savory syrup and sweet. So you have dessert out of something people usually throw away. Or if it's a cantaloupe, if it's orange, if it's anything it is, you take it and create. So there's purpose. So that imagination, I think, is coming back to the kitchen. That's where I'm happy because we don't have much room to waste anything or shouldn't waste anything. Um, so this is lovely. It can go in the oven for 2 hours, or sometimes I don't mind more. Um, um, but this, wow, 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 wow. It's simmering, and later on we'll add the greens. You can tell. Also, sometimes at the end I add lettuce too, a lot of romaine lettuce. I love that as well towards the end. So that's a simple dish that slow cooks after 2 hours. You can, it's all together. You have everything you need is right there that you can enjoy and share with your friends, your family, or just the two of you. I think that recipe it's 4 here. I think we have it for 8, so this is half. It depends how many at the house, or at the house at this moment.
Well, just so that our audience can see what this looks like when it's finished, I happen to have a picture. I hope you guys can see it, but look how beautiful it is. And actually, this is what you guys are going to be getting in the mail. It's a cookbook from all of us at Stearns to you, and it features George and his lamb shank recipe, but it also includes the favorite recipe of every person at Stearns, along with a little write-up about them. So I'm sorry that we couldn't get this to you here today, but it'll come by the new year is my hope. Oh my goodness, George, it's beautiful.
We got it right there. We have the a little orange zest on the top for excitement. A little lemon, a little lemon, and then I have the pomegranate. Pomegranate adds some nice freshness, just like the orange and lemon. Um, and pomegranate, just cut it down the middle and have the back of your knife tap it, and it falls out. Just barely squeeze it, and it falls out.
Let me minimize myself so everyone can see how beautiful this is. Wow, it's gorgeous.
Then excellent. So okay, we got crunchy, beautiful country bread, and we have the tagine or the lamb stew. I'll bring it a little closer to you. Okay.
And that is what I call an entree. How beautiful and how beautifully and artfully it's served. It's just gorgeous, George.
Thank you. It's a joy. Let's keep everybody healthy and as many years ago. And I'll share this as a loving closing note and a wishes and blessings to everybody to mentally, physically, and spiritually stay safe and healthy and strong.
Thank you, George. You've been amazing. And thanks for sharing your time with us. And also, thank you so much for your generous gift to EDCI. I look forward to letting our audience know how you can sign up and bid on this amazing in-home experience with you from your garden and your hands to the table, right?
Yes, they get a chance to pick what year, what season, and whatever's in the garden. Of course, they cannot pick that, but we'll have a feast and lots of laughter. So, thank you, Holly, for the opportunity, and I wish everyone a beautiful evening and lots of hugs and kisses. Thank you.
Thank you. And guys, remember to be on the lookout for your cookbook, which will come in the mail. And we look forward to happier times when we can see you in person again. But in the meantime, I hope this gave a little boost to your spirit. Stay the course, stay safe, and happy holidays. Bye, everyone.